The Republican Party should always be on the side of the miracle of life and the side of mothers, father, their beautiful babies, and that's what we are. IVF is an important part of that, and our great Republican Party will always be with you in your quest for the ultimate joy in life.
Yeah, no, he's lying. Maybe he individually supports IVF, but the Republican Party increasingly doesn't. And if he becomes president and they try to outlaw it, which they will, he is going to sign it. And there goes IVF. It's gone, at least here in America. And here is some strong evidence that that's the direction they're moving in. The Southern Baptists, the country's largest Protestant denomination, voted yesterday to oppose the use of IVF. They have 13 million church members, incredibly influential on the right. And here is what they had to say about this. Here's their thinking for why they now oppose this thing that we've just had and I guess maybe taken for granted in this country, like so many other rights to control what happens to our body. That was quaint in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and aughts, but now we need to take it back to an earlier phase of America. They said, this is a resolution they passed. It called on Southern Baptists to reaffirm the unconditional value and right to life of every human being, including those in an embryonic stage, and to only utilize reproductive technologies consistent with that affirmation, especially in the number of embryos generated in the IVF process. It also exhorted them to advocate for the government to restrain actions inconsistent with the dignity of every human being, which necessarily includes frozen embryonic human beings. And I love this for them. I love that they get to use phrases like unconditional value and right to life of every human being and the dignity of every human being. It's the sort of thing that conservatives like to say only about this, only about abortion. And then as soon as you're no longer an embryo or in an embryonic stage, you have no dignity, you have no unconditional life. You're on your own. You might end up on the streets. You might literally starve. And if you commit the wrong sort of crime, the government will kill you. But if you're an embryo, you're cool. We got your back. So that's what they had to say, okay? And this has not been their stated position in the past, but now this is what they're gonna be advocating for to their millions of constituents, and they, therein, will be encouraged to do the same thing to their elected representatives. And you might be thinking like, well, but is that strong of a connection? I mean, these are people who go to church. It's not actually the politicians. Well, here's what political scientists are saying about this change. One said the move may signal the beginning of a broad turn on the right against IVF, an issue that many evangelicals, anti-abortion advocates, and other social conservatives see as the pro-life movement's next frontier, one they hope will eventually lead to restrictions or outright bans on IVF at the state and federal levels. We're gonna get to another in a second, but I just want to amend that a little bit. It's not the start of anything. It's another big step down that path. We've already been moved. First of all, they've already tried to ban it in one state. And I don't know if you watch the so-called independent right-wing media, you probably shouldn't, but they have been increasingly advocating for this for like at least a year. And for exactly, I'll give credit to the political scientists for the reasons you said. They killed Roe v. Wade, they got what they wanted, and then they were sitting there thinking, so what do we do now? We don't want to do anything about wages or real estate prices. Are there any other rights we can take? That's all it is. And we're not like looking back with perfect hindsight. We were saying this is what they're gonna do then. They're gonna come for IVF, they're gonna come for contraception, they're gonna come for no-fault divorce. We can have interesting discussions about what the stages are that come after that, but this is the path they're on. This is how they run elections, trying to take away your rights and demonizing migrants. That's pretty much it. That's been the roadmap for a very long time. What do you think, they're gonna get creative at this point and move in a more productive direction? Don't bet your rights on it. But anyway, here's another political scientist, David Darmafal, who said, Southern Baptists are the base of the Republican Party. Parties are responsive to their bases. The Southern Baptist Convention just voted to oppose IVF. Republicans will ban IVF if Trump wins. And hey, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they'll put all this pressure and they'll have a bill on his desk and he'll say, no, I have to be consistent with what I said during the campaign. Yeah, right. How has that worked for your rights in the past? Remember, all of those Supreme Court justices who killed Roe v. Wade said that they would never do it. Okay, maybe Trump will be uniquely honest for for the first time in his life. I kind of doubt it.